Hi everyone, welcome. Unannounced live, but this is going to be too long for stories, so I want to do it in a live, and I'll save it as an IGTV. But what I really want to talk about today is a case, a client that I've been working with. I did her BCA a while back, and we've been doing monthly follow-ups, and she's been really great. Like, she's been implementing a lot of my stuff, and then she was going to start the liver reset. But at our follow-up today, she started explaining to me, I've been bad. I've been cheating a lot. I started the liver reset, and then I failed, and I did a really bad job with it. Like, all of these words, like I've been cheating. I've just been tired. And what's really amazing is she could have just canceled her appointment with me, and I'm so glad she didn't, because this happens to a lot of us. And I want you guys to know you're not bad. You don't have enough will. It's not that you don't have enough will. It's that there's a biological and chemical process happening in your body that's making you crave sugar. It's making you crave sweets. And you can't just beat yourself into submission and cut that out. All right. So I'm going to tell you guys what I told her in case this happens to you, where you feel like, I just need to cut out the sugar. I just don't have enough willpower. I just don't have this. I just don't have that. I'm going to tell you the tools I gave her. But before I tell you the tools I gave her, I want to tell you what's actually happening in your body and why these cravings are so intense. So I'm actually going to back up. So I told her, I know that you should be doing this. I know I should be doing the liver reset. I know I should be cutting out the bad food. I know I shouldn't be eating the sweets. I know. Like, she's being very heady. Lots of us, we get in our head, right? And we think, I just need to go back to the checklist. But we can't keep doing that, because it's not about the checklist. It's not about sheer will. There's actually a chemical process that's happening. So I told her, okay, close your eyes, take some deep breaths. And instead of get out of your head and into your body. All right. What is your stress like? What's happening in your life right now that's triggering you? Like, what's happening at work? Because when we have these cravings, it's a chemical response in your body that you are feeling stressed, that you're feeling unsafe, that you are in a heightened response. All right. You can't just be militant and be like, get out of that state, get out of that stress, get out of it. You can't. It's not going to happen. And here's why. Healing doesn't happen at that frequency. Healing happens when there's joy, when there's actually enjoyment in it. No one heals when they're not having fun. No one heals when they're not happy. No one heals when they feel like they have to beat their body into submission. So first I told this client, I said, okay, I want you to acknowledge that there's some things that are hard in your life right now, and you grabbing that chocolate is actually self-soothing. Why would you not want to soothe yourself? Why can't we give ourselves some love and grace and recognize my life is hard right now? All right. So I said, instead of coming at it I got to cut this out, I got to do this, I got to get back on the liver reset, I told her, I want you to mentally write down all the protocols, all the supplements, the liver reset, and all the shoulds. Pretend you're putting that on a piece of paper and you're burning it. I don't ever want to hear another should again. And I want you to give yourself a big hug and recognize things are hard. And instead of cutting things out, like sugar and comfort food, literally things that your body is creating a chemical response for because you're in a stress response. So when we're in a stress response, cortisol goes up. When cortisol goes up, our blood sugar goes up. When our blood sugar goes up, we crave more sugar. Instead of trying to override that, what we do is we actually self-soothe, and then we crowd out sugar. So this is what I told her. I said, okay, tell me all the sweets that you're eating. All right, I want you on your way to the store buying your chocolate. You're going to pick up your chocolate and you're going to go home and you're going to eat your chocolate and make a green smoothie. And that's it. You're not cutting out anything. You're adding stuff. Because I want you to have your healing food and I want you to have your fun food. That's what it is. It's not bad food. It's fun food. We want fun because we feel sad. We want fun and soothing food because we're stressed. We want fun because something hard is happening right now and we don't know how to deal. So when you find that you're stuck in these cravings, I want you to ask yourself, like, become your own research project. I learned that from Gina Warfel. Become your own research project. Like close your eyes, drop into your body, and ask yourself, where is the stress? When I'm craving this, like, when am I craving it the most? This client, she said it's always after work because there's things happening at work that she just doesn't love. And I'm like, so are you going to quit your job so that you don't eat chocolate? You can't do that, right? So maybe you can, I don't know. Maybe your boss is really abusive and you should quit your job. But I told her, I said, fun food and healing food. Let's just do that. Because we can combat chemicals with chemicals, right? One, let's soothe ourselves. Let's do the little bit of chocolate or substitute the unhealthy chocolate for a healthier chocolate. So one of my recommendations was do like keto bark, do the acai bites, do the heavenly organic peppermint patties. There are these incredible coconut rolls from Sprouts where it's made from like coconut and it's dipped in chocolate, and per coconut roll is like 1 gram of sugar. Like do fun foods that have less sugar in it but are still extremely satiating. And then do your green smoothie. Do your fun food, but also do your healing food. And then you are going to change your chemistry in your body where you're getting nutrient density and you're getting soothing. And then over time, the nutrient density will actually override the sugar cravings. So you didn't have to use any mental bandwidth trying to beat yourself into submission by getting that chocolate out of there. You just gently coerced your body with good healing nutrition to crave other foods down the line. All right. So 1, be gentle. 2, you can't beat your body into submission. You can't beat it into healing. Like that's why I always say, like, we got to go back to mindset, right? Like when we get really heady and we're like, I got to do this protocol and this protocol and this protocol. And oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by all the supplements and I'm just going to fail anyways. And oh my gosh, I completely self-sabotage. You didn't self-sabotage. You were overwhelmed. You were scared. There's a lot going on. You were stressed. Like, let's be gentle. Healing happens from frequencies of joy, happiness, love. All right. So let's love ourselves into healing and stop like being a militant like person about it. Okay. And that's it. That's all I wanted to share. Become your own research project. Recognize where the stress is coming from, where the craving is coming from. Try to heal that. All right. Try to heal the circumstance that got you to the craving in the first place. Like, be really compassionate. All right. I said this 3 times, but crowd out the bad food. Don't just cut out the bad food, the fun food. Don't just cut it out. Like, you're dead to me. No, you can't do that. Just crowd it out by doing the green smoothies, by doing some grilled vegetables. So there were a few things I told her. I said on Sundays, buy some of your most favorite vegetables, chop them up, put them in baggies, all right? So when you make your green smoothie for breakfast, you're getting a really big punch of healthy food, right? But the problem is after work where she swings by the store. So we've got our green smoothie and awesome. 4 to 6 veggies right there. Bam. Love it. Okay. Went to work, got triggered. She's pissed. She wants to go get her chocolate. Okay. So she goes to the store and she gets some keto bark. Maybe she gets some keto bark and peppermint patties. She goes home. She pulls out those chopped vegetables that she chopped up on Sunday. She pulls them out, puts them on a tray, bakes them for 20 minutes, pulls them out, eats them, then has her fun food afterwards. So healing and fun. Healing foods, fun foods. And guess what? No guilt. There's no guilt there. You had 8 servings of vegetables. You're like way ahead of like 99.9% of Americans out there. You need to like pat yourself in the back for that. I had my green smoothie and my big plate of vegetables. It's pretty awesome. You deserve that fun food right there. Eat your peppermint patty. Eat your acai bite. Like, eat that keto bark, whatever it is. Enjoy the process. Enjoy your life. Enjoy healing. Enjoy your food. It's meant to be enjoyed. That's why our taste buds, like, they're like the most pleasurable part of our bodies, maybe. Bad joke. Dirty joke. But, like, there's a reason why we take so much pleasure in food, because it's supposed to be enjoyed, and healthy food needs to be enjoyed, and food should be enjoyed. So let's start there, okay? Give yourself so much grace, so much love. Life is hard sometimes, okay? Let's stop getting so cerebral about our healings, drop into our bodies, and go from there and let our bodies kind of guide us and love us, and we love our bodies back. And that's it. Okay. Thanks for laughing at my really bad sexual joke. Okay, I'm going to go up here. Let's see. What if your stress is your illness? So you'd have to expand a little bit about that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But if your stress is your illness, then you need to do my Mastering Your Subconscious workshop that is happening in May. I haven't spoken about that yet on Instagram, but I have in on the podcast that was released with Aubrey Taylor. So we're doing this phenomenal Master Your Mindset, Master Your Subconscious, because the reason why we are sick in the first place is a lot of times because of our subconscious programs, and a lot of times we don't believe that we can heal. And you need to go listen to that podcast. It's phenomenal. It's a 3-hour workshop on May the 15th. And then there's a follow-up workshop the week later for an hour, and then 2 weeks later for an hour. And so we're going to be teaching, and we're going to have you teaching, and it's going to be a really small group. And we're going to be going over tools and practicing tools in the workshop with each other on how to master your subconscious and reprogram your mindset for a body that heals and not for a body in disease and distress all the time. So that's what I would say. I have a hard time feeling full. I always do too much. How to stop? I don't want to stop. You don't want to stop. Okay, so that's interesting, because that again is another stress response. Like, why don't you want to stop? Like, that's again, it's becoming your own research project. Like, what is it about the eating that helps you feel good? Or maybe you're nutrient depleted. Like, maybe you're eating food that isn't actually satiating, So again, eating the nutrient dense food, like the smoothie that can help you feel satiated, and the vegetables that help you feel satiated, and then the fun food that satiates you emotionally. All right. Like there's an imbalance there most likely. So that's why I say eat the healthy and the fun. Healthy food, fun food. All right. So become your own research project and try to figure that out and be like, why am I not feeling full? Why am I doing too much? Is it because I'm stressed? Is it because I skip breakfast because I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I'm trying to get kids to school? And before I know it, it's 2:00 and I'm ravenous. Like maybe the dysfunction started because your morning was unbalanced and your morning was stressful, right? So we gotta go back. Like what's happening in your life where you get to this point where you're like wolfing down food. And then, I hope that answered that question. Advice on how to teach this to children without obsessing over sugar. How many people have really strong boundaries about food in their house? No one does. And so like having really strong boundaries, like I have fun food in my house, but my kids know we got to eat the veggies before the fun food, right? Because I don't want sugar to become this like forbidden apple. Right now, Satori's making cookies. She's making these healthy almond flour cookies. My phone's going to die soon. Sorry, guys. She's making these healthy almond flour cookies. It's fun. It bonds people together. She helps us cut vegetables. She helps us pull fruit out of the fridge. Like she's constantly handling all areas of food, the healthy and the fun, right? And so a lot of parents are really scared to be firm with food. So in our house at dinner time, listen, guys, my kids eat amazing. Do they like it? No, they still hate it. They still complain about it every single day. It'll probably never change until they're like 18 or 20 or 40. I don't know. I don't care, actually. I have no drama with food in our house. I'm like, oh, you don't want to eat it? That's too bad. Tennyson yesterday, because we've been sick, and so I've allowed them to eat toast because, fiber and protein and fats were hurting their stomach. So it's been a few days where they were just eating toast. I'm like, everyone's good now. We're eating our vegetable soup. I don't want to. And the whining and the crying. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm hungry. Yeah, but we have vegetable soup. But I don't want vegetable soup. Well, that's your choice. Sorry. There's no emotion like, you better eat it. I'm like, well, you can be hungry and not eat, or you can eat your food and then you get your fun food afterwards. Took him 2 hours and he ate his whole bowl. And I don't care. I'm like, fine, starve. Like, Or trust me, you guys, your kids will never starve themselves. Ever, ever, ever. They'll never starve themselves. You just have to have really firm boundaries and not create drama around it. All right? My kids eat really good. I always have vegetables out like most of the day. And they're either snacking on cucumbers or carrots or sometimes celery. They don't love the celery, but they see me eating the celery. And so monkey see, monkey do. Someday they're going to start eating celery. I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to leave it out there and give them those options, right? As your mom, as an aromatherapist, are there any essential oils diffused that you recommend to calm the atmosphere at the home? I don't feel stressed, but no, I am, because our world is always go, go, go. There is a blend called Zen Aid, which is really fantastic. There's always like lavender, which is really good. What if you're an emotional eater? Wouldn't this be not helpful? So that's a whole different ballgame. I would say I would talk to Gina Warfel about that. But the majority of people, I would say, are not emotional eaters. And it just depends. Like everyone's circumstances are different. But honestly, like I did a podcast with someone who specializes in emotional eating. You might want to listen to that. You'll find it really, really helpful. But I'm also curious as to like why that wouldn't be helpful, because emotional, that's a whole different ballgame. But understanding your emotions and nurturing yourself would get rid of that energetic charge to overcorrect and self-soothe with food. So yeah, that's a whole different discussion for another time though. Oh, I'm so glad you like the podcast. Thank you. Let's see. So, about the Superior, go back to the post. We also did a live with the owner of Superior. So go look at that live in Provo Health and you will see all the explanations about those ingredients, why they're in there, what they are. The grape flavor is actually from fruit essence. So they never use anything synthetic in there. Yeah, Seth is the owner and the formulator, and he talks about every single ingredient. So you're welcome to go and look at that. All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for listening. I will talk to you all later. Hopefully this is helpful. And be gentle, be loving. You can't heal from a non-loving space. So here's a really, really fun, before I hang up here. Hold on. I got to get rid of that. Okay. So here's something that's really interesting. Sort of related, sort of not. Over the past few months, I have been I've been modeling to my kids about self-love. And it's really interesting, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens when you guys do this with your kids. So, my kids, they'll always say, Mom, I love you so much. I love you more than anything. And I'll say, oh my gosh, I love you guys so much, but I love myself more than anything too. And they're like, oh, what? And I'm like, I love myself more than anything. I need to love myself more than anything because self-love is so important. Mom, why would you say that? It's really interesting, actually. And so, and what's really interesting too, maybe I should say this for a podcast, is they think love is you loving someone and them loving you back. But really love is me loving myself and filling my own love cup and then sharing my love cup with other people. So I think sometimes we subconsciously train our children to love us, and it's transactional love, and that's not unconditional love. It's transactional love. I'll love you if you love me, and then we'll fill each other's love cups. So what I've been trying to train my kids to do is say, Mom, I love you so much, but I love myself more. And they're actually horrified in the beginning because we don't model self-love to our children. We don't verbally say it. We don't physically do it. And so they never learn this self-love concept. So I'm really curious. When you start, try that with your kids and report back to me and see how they respond when you say, I love you so much, and I love myself so much too. And then ask them, do you love yourself? See what they say. Because in the beginning, my kids were like, I don't love myself. I love you, Mom. I'm like, yeah, but why don't you love yourself? I'm not kidding, guys. Try this with your children. It's going to blow your mind. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why don't they love themselves? Because we haven't taught them to love themselves. So another thing I did is I'll ask them how much. They'll go, Mommy, I love you this much. And they'll show me with their arms. And they'll be like, how much do you love yourself? In the beginning, they were like, this much. oh, I don't love myself at all, Mom. I love you. And I'm like, no, you got to love yourself way bigger than me. And I do the big arms. And I'm like, way bigger than me, you guys. And they're like, I can't love myself that much. I'm like, you better love yourself that much. You have to love yourself that much, right? And so, isn't it interesting that we have this culture where we are really like mean to ourselves and we're really hard on ourselves, and we've never been taught to love ourselves. And like, this is happening in our children. So try this experiment with them and just say, I love you so much. I love you guys unconditionally, and I love myself even more unconditionally. Because that's the truth, guys. We actually have to love ourselves more in order to love other people. We have to fill our cup and keep it filled to love those around us. Because if our love cup is empty and we're trying to fill their love cups, we're actually going to drain ourselves, and it's actually going to be super detrimental. All right. So try that experiment. Just say, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I love you more than anything, but I also love myself more than anything. See what they do. Start teaching them this language. Put it on their radar that, oh my gosh, I have to love myself. I have to use loving language. And then do the, oh my gosh, I love you this much. How much do you love yourself? And see them do this and see them do this, or see them be really confused. They're like, oh my gosh, Mommy, I love you that much, but I love myself this much. No, sweetheart, you got to love yourself way bigger than you love Mommy, way bigger than you love Daddy. All right. This is where it starts, you guys. This is where like the self-depreciation starts. It starts at this age. And that's when we get to our age where we're like, I got to beat myself into submission, and I got to beat the candy out of me. And no, you don't have to do that. That's bull. Like, you got to love yourself into all these things. Love is a healing frequency, and so is joy. That's it. Teach your kids to love themselves, love yourselves, be gentle, be your own research project. Figure out the emotional triggers, figure out where they're coming from, be really kind, because life is hard. It doesn't need to be harder. You don't have to make it harder for yourself. Bye. Love you all.